Traveling is one of the best things you can ever do with your life. You can literally see the world. You can meet people from so many different cultures, and you can use your exploration of new places to let go of your conceptualized self and grow into an authentic version of yourself. Or you can go missing and never be seen again. Hello again, Most Amazing Top 10 family. I'm your host, Jade Arena, and welcome back to Most Amazing Top 10. Today we will be getting your passports and investigating some of the strangest missing person cases from around the globe with our list of top 10 backpackers who mysteriously disappeared. As always, I would love it if you could like, comment, subscribe, and hit the little notification bell. And stick around for the whole list because I'm going to be doing some more pet shoutouts, which you guys love so much. And right before we get into this video, I want to give a huge shout out to our sponsor. Today's video is sponsored by CaseApp. CaseApp is an amazing website where you can customize your own case for your phone. At Most Amazing Top 10, we got a bunch of cases from CaseApp, and I have to thank them so much for sending these over to us. They are amazing. They feel great, they are super high quality, and they also make stickers, and I love stickers so much. And if you want to win some free stuff from CaseApp, then you should head over to our Instagram page. They have a contest going on right now. There's a link in the description below, and all the details for the contest are on our page. Also, if you want to grab your own case, you should use the promo code in our description, which will give you 20% off. That is some massive savings. So head over right now and make the perfect personalized case for you. And now let's get into this list. Coming in at number 10, we have Charles Horvath. This man went out to do something amazing. He wanted to hitchhike all the way across Canada. And this was back in the 80s. There was no cell phones back then. You just had to trust that people were going to take you where you needed to go, and you couldn't check anything on GPS. And Charles made it pretty much all the way. He worked his way from the East Coast all the way to British Columbia, Canada on the West Coast, and then he started traveling north, and that's where his trail went cold. He was talking to his mother through phone calls along his journey, and when he made it to Kelowna, British Columbia, he stopped calling. His mom went out looking for him, and she found out where he was staying. It was at a campsite. All of his stuff was there, but he was nowhere to be found. While searching for him, his mother had a note left on her door saying that Charles had been killed the night of a party. She told the police, and they launched an investigation, but they searched everywhere, and he was nowhere to be found. Coming in at number 9, we have Betsy and Glenn Hyde. For this next point, we're gonna have to sail all the way back to the 20s. Betsy and Glenn Hyde were newly married, and for their honeymoon, they wanted to do some backpacking. They wanted to go all over America, and one of the biggest parts of this adventure was going to be boating through the Grand Canyon. They had everything set to go, and then they went on their mission, but soon after, they were never heard from again. A few months later, someone found their boat in working condition, and it was full of supplies. This meant that they had docked their boat somewhere, got out maybe to explore, and never came back. This mystery gets even stranger when people report seeing Betsy Hyde years later walking around. What happened to these two, and was that really Betsy Hyde who was spotted? Coming in at number 8, we have Anita Cunningham. Let's head over to Australia and back to the year 1972. Anita Cunningham was going to set out on a big journey across Australia. The mission was to travel 2,500 kilometers. That's a very hefty distance to backpack, especially when you're doing the whole thing through hitchhiking. But she wasn't alone. She was going with her friend Robin. Now the two were making their journey, and their goal was to end up in Bowen, Australia. This is where Robin's mother lived. Out of nowhere, the girls stopped contacting their families, and then a few months later, Robin's bones were found buried under a bridge. The question was, where was Anita, and why was only one girl found? Did she kill her friend, or did the two girls part ways at some point, and then someone murdered Robin in cold blood? The two girls were extremely close, and both their families said that they would never leave each other without letting their families know. To this day, the location of Anita Cunningham is still unknown. Coming in at number 7, we have Dale Ray. Be careful when you're traveling. You never know when the smallest thing can go wrong and can end your traveling career. Dale Ray was a little bit of a stunt seeker. He was a British backpacker who had a habit of jumping off of bridges into rivers. He had been caught doing this several times and was even fined by Australian police for doing this a week before he disappeared. This wasn't too much of a dangerous task for him, as he never would jump off a bridge too high, and he was a well-trained swimmer. He competed in an Ironman race more than once. So if you can pull that off, you can probably jump off a bridge into some water and swim for a little bit. In 2016, he and 3 friends went to jump off a bridge in Australia, and his 3 friends returned to the surface, but Dale never did. People searched for him for hours, but nothing could be found. Divers went down to bring him up, but there was still nothing. Coming in at number 6, we have Paula Weldon. In 1946, Paula Weldon wanted to hike through the Bennington Triangle. She was planning to do this alone, and she needed to backpack over to this trail. She would also need to hitchhike over to this trail. She was well equipped for the hike, but the last time anyone saw her was when she was trying to catch a ride to said trail. When she didn't come back that night, her family sent out word, and all surrounding states started looking for her. Her university put classes on hold so students could try and find her, but there was nothing. Now, what happened to her is still a mystery, because if she was on the trail, there should have been some sign of her, but nothing has ever been found. Some people think that she might have used the excuse of backpacking to go on a nature hike to cover up the fact that she wanted to run away with her boyfriend. But the simple answer is that after nightfall, the temperatures in the area would drop below freezing, so she most likely froze to death in the forest. Coming in at number 5, Barbara Carol Brown. Barbara was an extremely successful hitchhiker and backpacker. She used her skills at meeting good people to travel all over New Zealand and Australia by catching rides with people. This was an important skill, and with her friend, she always felt safe. Things were going well, and she finally got to a place where she could rest for a little bit. She was in Australia, and she got in contact with her boyfriend's brother. This would be the perfect place to lay down. While staying there, her friend that she had been backpacking with decided that she wanted to go out on her own. Barbara would eventually do the same. She had been so successful at hitchhiking so far, and she wanted to keep it going. But after she left her boyfriend's brother's home, no one would ever see her again. Coming in at number 4, Tony Jones. In the 1980s, Tony Jones wanted to give up his working life and take a chunk of the money he had saved to go and travel around Australia. This is where he was from, and he had never taken the time to see his own country. For months he was safe until one day he was just gone. His disappearance was later linked to 2 men, Kevin Wright and John Eastoff. They were both seen with Tony around the time he went missing, but there wasn't enough evidence to link them to any crime. However, one of Kevin Wright's close friends said that he admitted to killing someone. Coming in at number 3, we have Pardeep Singh. Pardeep was studying and backpacking through Australia, and one day he rented a van to backpack along the Gold Coast. He sent off to the Charlotte's Pass, which is a hiking area known for being very snowy in the winter. He embarked on walking through, and then he was gone forever. The mysterious part is that Pardeep was army trained and should have known how to safely navigate the area, and even after triangulating his phone, his body was never found. Coming in at number 2, we have Aubry Sacco. Aubry Sacco was backpacking all throughout Asia, and she was keeping in contact with her parents every day. She reached Nepal, and then the contact just stopped. It wasn't long after that her parents flew out to find her. A massive search was launched, but she was never found. There are literally dozens of theories as to what could have happened to her. The craziest of these theories being that there was witches in the area where she went missing, and these witches were known to kidnap people and use them for human sacrifices. And coming into the number 1 spot, we have Chris Klemmer and Suzanne Froone. In 2014, these 2 girls came from Holland and started backpacking through Panama. Their goal was to see the country and come back fluent in Spanish. One day, the 2 girls went on a hike through the Panama forest. This was the last time anyone saw them alive. Word got out that the girls had been missing, so the police got involved. They went to the hiking trail where the girls were supposed to be, and not very long after they found the girls' remains along with one of the girls' cell phones. This is where things get a little creepy. It seems that the girls tried to call 911 several times, but there was no service. They were also taking many photos. There was a huge portion of the photos that were taken in complete darkness. The spooky thing is that these photos were taken 10 days after the girls went missing, and the girls didn't bring any food or water with them. People speculate that the girls would have already been dead at this point. So who took these photos? And even if it was them, why would they take all these photos in the dark? What were they seeing out there? Alright everyone, that has been our list, and as promised, I'm going to be doing some more pet shoutouts. Remember, if you want me to shout out your pet, you can hit me up on Instagram. I pick new pets each day, so if you don't get picked one day, you can message back another day. I usually pick who's messaged most recently, and if it takes me a little while to get back to you, I am very sorry. I have a lot of these to do, and without taking any longer, let's shout out some pets. First up, we have Oreo, who is so cute and so small. I love this little dog. Then we have Maggie, who has some beautiful brown eyes. Right after that, we have Gunner, who is making a very silly face. Next, we have Taz, who has the best haircut I have ever seen. And to close it out, we have a couple of good boys, Stella and Hudson. Alright everyone, that is all we have for you today. As always, I would love it if you could like, comment, subscribe, and hit the little notification bell. Until next time, I've been your host, Jade Arena, and be careful when you're backpacking. Bye. He worked his way from the East Coast. He worked his way from the East Coast all the way to British Columbia. He worked his way from the East Coast all... This meant that they had docked their boat somewhere, got out. This meant that they had docked their boats. They went to the hiking trail where the girls were supposed to be, and not long after they were... They went to the hiking trail where the girls were supposed to be, and not long after they were found. Oh.